Squadron's operational flying diary, written during the war at debriefing sessions which were held after his father's missions in MH434. It's a remarkable account. On August the 27th, 1943, Lardner Burke set off at 1830 hours from his base in Essex. He was a member of 222 Squadron, which had 12 Spitfires in operation that day. They were providing cover for 240 American B-17 bombers, flying fortresses, each loaded with 8,000 pounds of bombs. Pat Lardner Burke died in 1970. But there are still a few men left who know exactly what it feels like to have to set off in a Spitfire to defend Britain nearly 70 years ago.
Once you're up there, you're part and parcel of the aeroplane. You can't be terrified.
Doesn't even take the time that it's now taking me to speak to you. You're away, you're getting on with the job.
Once you were in that aeroplane, then a totally resignation came in. I'm here, I've got to go, I'm going to do it.
Really, when you're in it so tight with the straps done up so that when you happen to turn upside down, you don't bang your head on the hood.
And I'm going to do my very best to get back and do as much damage to those Black Cross gentlemen as I possibly can.
They crossed the Kent coast and then joined the bombers over the Channel. They went over the French coast at Bewerkt near Calais. They then turned north and hit very heavy flak. 2 of the planes were hit and 7 of the airmen were reported to have bailed out.
Flak is just a shell that explodes at a certain height. And they used to get our height, absolutely. The bomber crews had to just stay in position. They had to take anything that was going. I admired them immensely.
We were defending this country against the King's enemies. And we knew anybody who thought at all would know that the effort that was being put in by the Germans and the Luftwaffe, they weren't doing it for fun. They weren't doing that for fun. And we had to stop them. That was the important thing. Not whether Jim shot down 10 and Bill shot down 1 and poor old Sid didn't get any. It didn't matter who shot down what. It never worried me. It never worried me. But what was important was that these Germans were up to no good and they had to be stopped.
The Spitfires were orbiting at 26,000 feet when a call came through saying that 9 enemy aircraft were attacking the bombers below. The 222 Squadron, led by Wing Commander Compton, swooped down to attack the loose formation of German FW-190s.
You find yourself on your own. I mean, if the wingman has to break away to look after himself and the rest, you're on your own. It's up to you.
This is a dramatic moment. In his MH434 R Spitfire, Lardner Burke opened fire on a Fokker that had been firing at Wing Commander Compton. He let rip with a 2-second burst from 350 yards and hit its wing and tail. The Fokker was hit and the MH434 turned sharply and dived out of the way.
And it was just like a swarm of bees, or everything going round and round and round.
Don't stand around looking and thinking, where is everybody? Before you do that, chuck it around. Chuck it, I mean it, really. Vicious. Not in any flying manual that the instructor would tell you to do.
Lardner then turned his attention to a second plane, opening up his machine guns for 4 to 5 seconds. The Fokker dived to avoid Lardner Burke, but the RAF pilot followed him to just 2,000 feet and watched his crash near Calais. So MH434 had a good start to its campaign and then headed home to its operational base at RAF Hornchurch.
Hornchurch was a key RAF command aerodrome in both the First and Second World Wars. The local people were used to living with the dangers of an airbase. But it still seems very surprising that in 1937 a school should be built so close to where the planes took off. And that's where we're going next. That school and its pupils are still keenly aware of their close link with the Second World War.
What do you think about a Spitfire? It's fast, yeah?
Very manoeuvrable.
It's very manoeuvrable, yeah? What else have we got? Wait a minute.
It's very cool.
It's what?
Very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. It's on our badge.
Where is it on the badge? Oh, right, there's on the badge, yeah. Okay, so Spitfire, your favourite plane? Yeah. That's the right answer.
These children are almost as enthusiastic about the Spitfire as I was when I was their age. They're crazy about the old plane. They may remember it fondly, but the 900 or so kids that went to school here in 1943 lived with it daily, and the pilots were their heroes. All of which makes what happened on March the 24th of that year so poignant. Jim Ring was in class on that morning. He was just 9 years old.
Our teacher, Miss Culling, was up at the blackboard, and we heard this awful noise, and it got louder, much louder, and we just yelled to the teacher, "Get down, miss," and we all dived under our desks.
The sound Jim could hear was a Spitfire heading straight for his classroom. The pilot, an American volunteer, knew his Merlin engine was in trouble soon after he took off, less than 500 yards from the school. Official documents record that his engine failed at just over 200 feet and that his plane went into a spin. Those who were at the school vividly remember the scene.
So he tried to bank and turn towards this school in an effort to get back to the airfield.
There were children in the playing field where he crashed, and they remember him signaling desperately to get out of the way.
He was so low, and he realised he was going to hit the school, so he put the nose down, the Spitfire, which came down here.
So he deliberately crashed his Spitfire right here in order to avoid going right into the school and killing lots of people.
That's right.
And then what happened?
Well, it bounced up and the wing struck the school wall there where the plaque is.
The pilot was killed on impact. His name was Raymond Sanders Draper, and that's now the name of this school. Jim and his fellow classmates helped to have it renamed in his honour in 1973. The schoolboys from that tragic day remember Sanders Draper every year with a memorial service.
Yes, hello. Thank you.
Jim has arranged for me to meet some of them.
Hello. Hello.
How do you do, John?
Right.